There was something about Stig that just didn't sit right with me. I didn't know what it was, but I just felt like there's something off about him. Now, the first thing that I said was my assumption around this guy is that I believe that he is looking for a woman in America to use to get to America on a permanent basis. The reason I said this is because of a certain pattern that has happened. The first week when Aviva arrived in Belize, what happened? They slept together, unprotected on the first night. But here's the thing though, at that time, Aviva was like, well, listen, obviously we've been together for a while, I know he's my man, blah, 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 blah. If a kid happens, then it is what it is. But then she found out that this man isn't exactly as loyal as she thought, or at least given the fact that she was already warned by her aunt about how he is in Belize and how he's been known to be this guy that flirts around women, makes songs about women. That was something that was definitely already a high alert, already a red flag, and something that Aviva had in the back of her head. Now, with that information being said, when she arrived there, something became a bit off key, and then that's when she realized that maybe it's not a good idea to sleep with this guy unprotected. But what happened? Week 2, what happens? She ends up sleeping again unprotected, and his reaction is, well, listen, whatever will be, will be. Now, bear in mind, at the same time, though, he had already said to her previously that he wanted to marry her, he wanted to have a child with her. And he made her believe that she's the only woman that he's only ever said that to. But then she found out in the last week's episode that, hold on a minute, there was another American woman that he also told the same thing to previously. And therefore, that definitely got her thinking something's not right here. Obviously, he downplayed it and said, well, if I'm going to be with a woman, why would I not want to marry her? Why would I not want to have kids with her? Which, to be fair, was a very good response. But then there was also the time when he traveled all the way to America. But he told Aviva that he could not see her because he was there being busy with performing. And ironically, the location he was performing at was very close to the woman that he was with previously. Again, all these things very, very suspect. The question is, though, who is this man? What's he about? Is he really out here trying to use women for his own benefit? Well, this is when some tea came my direction. Now, you see, when it comes to Stig himself in particular, there's an article here where he talks about, and while Shine gets the fame and perhaps a nice political dividend, the man soaking it all up is Stig the artist. Just like Shane was Diddy's protege, Stig is now under Shine's wing. He and his manager Richie were in Los Angeles all week with Shine at rehearsals at Diddy's mansion. I don't know if that's meant to say overall or something like that, but either way, he was soaking up. He is still in LA, and we spoke to him today via Zoom about the immersion in the A-list world has been. Now, here's the thing, folks. This article here was back in June 27th of 2022. So that means obviously in 2022 he had an experience being around Shine and also being around Diddy. But here's the thing, guys, for the people who don't know who Shine really is, well, let me give you a little bit of background. So when it comes to Shine is who is now Moses Barrow, okay, and Sean Diddy Combs share a complex decades-long history defined by a 1999 nightclub shooting that led to Shine's imprisonment and Diddy's acquaintance. So this is the guy that became the fall guy, okay, the guy who ended up going down for 10 years. Recently, following Diddy's September 2024 arrest on federal charges, Shine has renewed his public criticism of the mogul, stating Diddy destroyed his life. All right. So here's the thing, guys. This is where things get a bit interesting. So why does this matter? Why is this a thing? Well, look at it this way. When Shine was working underneath P. Diddy, okay, he obviously did a lot of things that I guess we will never know. But one of the things that we do know for sure is that he was a fall guy for the shootings. But also on top of that, something else that we've been accustomed to knowing is that, well, under Diddy's leadership, he also learned how to use women. So of course, given the fact that he was once upon a time the protege to Diddy, and now Stig was at least the protege to Shine, what does that mean? It means that there's a high chance that he learnt the trade. He learned how to potentially use women to get his own way. He learned X, Y, Z, da. Now, of course, just because Shine is somebody that, or should I say now Moses Barrow, just because he's somebody that's in the States who can be there freely, it doesn't mean that he necessarily has the powers of actually bringing someone from a different country to then get a citizenship in the United States. Now, of course, you could do that maybe on a work visa, give or take. But again, things may be a bit different with certain people when it comes to work visas, especially depending on what work he's in. And also on top of that, if them two are no longer in a partnership or friendship or whatever, then that means obviously Stig right now is probably working on his own accord, trying to see what he can do to navigate himself back to America on a more permanent basis. And what is one of the best ways of getting to America on a permanent basis? Well, folks, you already know what it is. This is why we call it 90-day fiance, and that is a K1 visa. Now, of course, sometimes K1 visa can take up to a year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 7 years, you don't know. But either way though, it does feel like his intention wasn't actually to be with this woman because he loved her, because he wanted to have a kid with her, because he wanted to marry her. It was more feeling like a way to use her, pretty much, as a meal ticket. But then I was thinking to myself, something's interesting here. Now, then I thought, let me just go and check. Let me just go and check Aviva's page, okay? So bear this in mind, I thought to myself, let me go and check Aviva's page. Now, upon me thinking of the idea of checking Aviva's page, something interesting happened, okay? Now, naturally speaking, when you go check on someone's page, if you follow someone, if you follow 2 people and you check their pages, they are going to be the first person that's going to come up on the following list. So I thought, let me go to the follow. Because the following part is surely going to show me the people that I follow and the people that she follows, etc., etc., right? So I'm thinking, of course, Aviva's going to be here somewhere, right? And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, Aviva's not here? That doesn't make any sense. So I thought, okay, cool, no worries. Let's type her name in instead. Type in Aviva. No results found, and then obviously does a whole bunch of random other people who are nothing to do with her in any shape or form. Very, very interesting. Again, I'll do that again for you folks, okay? Let's delete that. Let's go Aviva again. Press enter. Okay, as you can see, her account is nowhere to be seen on his profile. So with that being said, I was like, maybe it's a glitch. Maybe it's just my side. So I thought, okay, you know, with that being said, okay, let me see if I can find Aviva following Stig. So therefore I went to her profile. Again, she's not even following that many people, to be honest with you. So I thought, okay, let's go to it. Let's see what's going on. Stig. Nothing came up. Duh. Oh, my bad. Duh. The artist? No. Oh, no. Damn. And he doesn't even appear on her follow neither. So now it brings me to wonder this very simple question. Has Aviva figured out that maybe this man was trying to use her? Maybe she didn't figure out and he just dropped the ball and they decided to call it quits. But either way though, it seems as if as of right now, Stig and Aviva may not actually be together due to the fact that their social media accounts don't look like as if they're actively in each other in each other's life. If anything, my bet would say there's a chance that maybe these two even broke up prior to the season even airing. Because also on top of that, when you go on Aviva's profile, and obviously as you scroll past, you don't really see anything that involves herself and Stig as a recent. You know what I mean? And when I say as a recent, let's click on this picture. This one's back in 2002. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so bear in mind, she hasn't even got him uploaded there. I think, obviously, to be honest with you, she probably didn't, I don't think she was somebody that was always overly active in her social media pages. I think she became overly active once, of course, the show was announced to come out. And her first post in a while was obviously November, and then obviously since then she's made a few. But obviously with Stig's account, I definitely wasn't expecting to see her on his page because, well, he's a music man. Why is he going to want to have his girl on his page when his music is all for women? And to keep it abundantly clear, not only is his music for women, but his music is usually for the women that he is actually currently sleeping with. I'm not going to call them girlfriends. I'm not going to call them women the women that he's dating because I don't feel like he sees them as women that he's dating, nor do I believe he sees them as women that, you know, he's actually in a relationship with. I see them as women that he's sleeping with, and therefore he makes songs about them because, well, one, it makes them feel special, and two, well, if you're making music about women, and if you are currently with somebody you're sleeping with or whatever, sometimes when you're writing a song, it may be easier for you to have that writing creativity because you're now going to be writing a song based on how you're going to wow this person, how you're going to love bomb this person. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, even when you go his page itself in particular, just to clarify folks, as you can see, his page is predominantly based on just himself. The only ones you see of him in Aviva is exactly the same one as herself, and that one was the preview to the season coming itself in particular. But as you can see, his one is pretty much himself enjoying life. Oh, then again though, there is this, oh no, these are all based on the show. What am I talking about? But either way though, it definitely does make you wonder what the hell is going on with this guy, but also what the hell is going on with these two. Well folks, as of the research so far, I would say that the assumption that I've had so far, based on the little information that I have, I feel like it's kind of being backed up with the fact that, well, one, this guy once upon a time was a project of a guy that was a project of Diddy, which again could literally mean absolutely nothing. But sometimes when the shoe fits, the shoe fits. But I guess that's a matter of perspective. And also on top of that, they're following each other is non-existent right now, which also makes things very interesting. Well, either way, let me know exactly what you're thinking down below in the comment section, and we can most certainly talk about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.